Hey everyone, it's Moonshine. Happy 4th of July to you. Um, I'm going to do a troop formation explanation with some battle formation information for you. Um, so, I guess the best way to start is to explain, you know, your infantry takes as much of your damage as possible before they get wiped out, and then your cavalry, and then your bowmen. But once your infantry's gone, you get wiped out pretty quick. So, with the understanding of it isn't just, you know, sending your top tier troops to defend or building your top tier troops to defend or attack. It just don't work that way. So, understanding how they die in their formation is just as important when you're building them. Your T10s, T8s, T6s, T4s, and T2s on your infantry are going to die first because they stand in front of the spearmen. Those tiers are your front line for your infantry. The T9s, T7s, T5s, T3s, and T1s are your spearmen, and they stand behind your infantry, your swordsmen. So swordsmen die first, immortal guards die, or your spearmen die second. Okay. The only thing that stands in front of your infantry are your battering rams and your siege towers. Okay, so building some of them when defending your castle is going to help. When attacking, it's kind of a different story because you don't want to send a crap ton of siege, which die really easy, but it also does give you a little cushion on your infantry so they can do a little bit more protecting your cavalry and your bowmen. Sorry about that. Um, so looking at the cavalry, your T10s, T9s, T7s, T5s, T4s, and T2s on your infantry, because they are light cavalry, they die first. They kill your they kill your bowmen. They kill bowmen when they go through a march. Your T8s, your T6s, your T4s, T3s, and T1s, they kill the infantry that you're attacking or getting attacked by. That's what they charge through. Okay, so when you're trying to get through somebody's front line, yes, having T10s and T9s is all good to send, but if you send too many of them to try to take out a front line of infantry, they're not going to survive and they're not going to get to do their job because they're not going to make it to the bowmen if the infantry front line on whoever you're attacking or defending against doesn't get demolished. They're not going to get to those bowmen to stop the damage that they're doing. So understanding that is very important. So when you mix a march, you kind of want to make sure that you're going to be able to punch through that front line and get to the bowmen. So you need your heavy cavalry to wipe out the infantry and your light cavalry to take out your ranged troops. So that's an explanation on the cavalry. Now the bowmen, or the ranged troops, however you want to say it, your T10s, your T8s, T7s, T4s, and T1s are your bowmen. The bowmen stand in front of your spearmen, or in front of your crossbowmen. So they die first of your bowmen or your ranged troops. Okay. Now, there again, bowmen are designed to take out cavalry and siege. They're not designed to take out the front line of infantry. Not saying they don't, but they're not designed for that. What's designed to take out the front line are your crossbowmen, and they're designed to take out spearmen. You use your heavy cavalry, which is designed to wipe out swordsmen. Like I said, you got to wipe out the front lines, otherwise you're not going to allow your other troops to do the damage that they need when attacking or defending if you're not sitting correctly formulated. I mean, you go charging into a couple million troops solo, you're going to do damage. You're not going to do nowhere near the amount of damage as if you were up against somebody with 500,000 or 750,000 troops with your formation. So, that is an explanation of what dies first and what kills first. So just a quick recap. Crossbowmen take out spearmen. Your bowmen take out cavalry, all cavalry, and siege. Okay? Your cavalry, light cavalry, takes out bowmen. And your heavy cavalry take out swordsmen, basically the infantry. Okay, your infantry, your T10s, T8s, T6s, T4s, and T2s have an increased defense against bowmen. Okay, which is fine and dandy, but that's why you need the heavy cavalry to wipe them out, so you can get to the second line, which is your spearmen, and be able to wipe them out with your crossbowmen. I really hope all this makes sense. If you guys have any questions, please put it down in the comments and I will get back to you and do my best to explain it. So now as far as setting up a formation, okay, this is my formation for when you set up a formation. The biggest thing is, to have your dragon, basically, don't do it with boost on. Nothing more than you can skill without spending gold or adding a march boost, because if you send an attack for whatever reason unboosted, you're going to lose troops out of your formation. It's always easier to add, say, bowmen or more cavalry or whatever you need with that extra space that you have once you boost your march. So it's very important to look at that. Okay, and when you do that, as you can see, I have different numbers and everything, and the reason is because, okay, I'm sending 24,000 infantry destroyers, T10s, for my attack. Okay, why am I doing that? Well, it's, in essence, it is stupid to send them because they die first. Okay, but I need to give my immortal guards, my spearmen, time to do work and help hold that front line, so they need a buffer. Okay, you got to give each one of your units time to do their job, including the dragon rams, which is siege, which is a battering ram or a siege tower, gives your swordsmen and your spearmen a little extra time to do their job, which is to hold the front line, which allows your cavalry and your bowmen and crossbowmen to do their job of causing damage and killing the troops. Okay, so now as you see, my numbers gradually go down the lower tiers. Okay, the reason for this is because a formation that has all the tiers and all of the troops in it is going to do more damage than just sending your top tier troops. Okay? And you may get wiped out, but you're going to cause more damage doing this than just sending your top tier troops. You send your top tier troops, you're losing a crap ton of power off the top. You're losing your top killers, your top defenders, you're losing that stuff. So if they turn around and in return attack you, well, you just lost a third of your powers, of your power of taking a hit to do the damage to wipe their march out. So you got to kind of look at it that way. Okay, so with that being said, that is how my formation looks. I have every tier in here: siege and non and distant siege. Distant siege stands behind your behind your crossbowmen. Okay, I have all of them in here, and the reason is because it does the most damage that my march is going to do with all of these tiers in it. And I don't care if you're a stronghold 40, I don't care if you're a stronghold 15. When you set up your march, if you have all the tiers that you have available to you, you're going to do more damage than sending just your top tier troops. So, like I said, you've really got to pay attention to what you're doing when you're skilling this. The lower tier troops, do you need 10, 15, 20, 100, whatever it is? No. You can do one on all of them and set it that way. And I'm going to show you guys an example. Okay. So in Conquest, we had a stronghold 40 hit a tower that we were holding. Okay. And the reason I'm showing you this, and it doesn't matter what the stats are, what I'm showing you is for the formation. Okay. This was a stronghold 40. It was mega'd. Okay. It was mega'd. You can see the dragon difference. Okay. You can see that he sent over 300,000 troops. We had 1 million, looks like 1,000,003, almost 1,000,004 in there. Okay. We were giving up a fair amount on stats. I mean, basically, it wasn't good. Okay. I'm not like the rest of these YouTubers that's going to hide stuff from you and, oh, you can't see my stats, you can't see this, blah, blah, blah. I don't care. My point is to help you guys learn how to do this. Okay, like I said, this was a stronghold 40. Okay. Granted, he may not be the strongest or any of that, but the point that I'm trying to make is if you look at the kills that he got on this formation that he sent, okay, that is the biggest thing, is look at what he sent compared, to what damage he did. Okay, he sent T12s. That's all he sent, straight T12s. Okay, now if you look at our formation that we had, you got everybody in there. And basically all of that's in there at this particular moment. In mine is all the second line of defense. Okay? But this is where you got to work together as a group. Okay? In order to get other tiers in there and the troops that you need in there. Okay, that's the important thing, is that you got to work together, you got to know what you're sending and all of that. as you can see, there was very little of the lower tiers, and most of it was second line. And even though that it's second line, if that's all you have is the second line of infantry, it's going to affect the damage that you do. Okay, granted, supposedly they live longer. They don't, because they're the first line now, so they're not standing behind anything. Now, for his second hit, which was right here, okay, and now you look at the damage. He did about almost twice the damage, okay, is what I'm showing you. Same march, we killed 8,000 less. We didn't get fully reloaded and refilled to the same as we had on the first one. But like I said, he still did a crap ton of damage. We were 300,000 or a couple 100,000 short on what he sent. I'm refilling it. Now look at the difference. This is his formation now. He got every tier in there. He sent lower tiered troops, which helped him cause more damage. Okay? So that's what I'm saying, is when you have all tiers, you're going to do the most damage possible. Granted, he didn't send siege, which was his choice. Like I said, with the siege, it does cause more damage. Is it extensively a lot? I'm not sure. But him just adding them fewer lower tier troops, as you see, they don't add up to much. You're maybe talking 2,000. 2,000 on the bowman, we'll say 2,000 on the cavalry that he added, maybe 10,000 on, so he added, we'll say 30,000 of lower tiered troops to his march of just straight T12s that he sent last time. Okay. So, with that being said, that's what I'm trying to explain in your formation. So that is battle formation. You send top tier troops, you're going to do nowhere near the damage if you were to, compared to when you were to send all lower tiered troops. Now, defending, I am going to show you, I didn't send all tiers because I set up my formation incorrectly, and I set it up when it was boosted. So when I sent unboosted, I only sent 207,000, not the 266,000 that I had in my formation, and I had it saved. Okay, that made a difference. And the reason it made a difference is because when this time came that I zeroed this guy out with the troops that he had in his castle, as you can see, there was 1 point, we're going to say 5 million troops that he had in his castle, and I only sent 207,000 instead of the 266,000. So it made a difference. Now the reason for this report I'm showing you is because I did not send all my tiers. I sent down to T6 because I hit my formation and I wasn't boosted the way I needed to be, so I didn't get nothing below T6 and T7 in there. But when I hit him the first time, I lost a lot of power, lost a lot of troops. I got completely wiped out. But I wiped out most of his infantry in the first hit. I didn't really get any cavalry or any bowmen. I did get some, and I did get some siege, I believe. Nope, I didn't get no siege at all. So that right there is what I'm trying to say. Is, I didn't send all my tiers in to do this, which was my fault, my mistake for not setting my formation up correctly. Okay, but he had all lower tiers in there. This is a Stronghold 32. You know, his top march was out or healing, but his dragon was home. So, you know, it wasn't a pushover, but T7s, T8s are in there. You know, granted it's nothing much, but it was enough that we were pretty well evenly statted. Okay. As you can see, it was close. I mean, maybe a couple hundred here and there, but other than that, it was pretty well even. And he had his infantry boosted. I don't know where the tombs are, but he had his infantry boosted to the best of his ability to take a hit. Okay, so that was the first hit. As soon as I got zeroed out, I turned around and I sent a second march. Okay, now is a totally different story, and the reason it's a totally different story is because he no longer has infantry. He had very little left after I hit him the first time. And if you look at what infantry survived out of mine, it is my immortal guards. And he got into my cavalry, and he got into my bowmen. As you see, my T9s didn't get touched. My T10s did. And that's the reason. T10s, all your T10s are on the front lines. They die first. So, as you see, everything got, you know, they all got kills. You know, if you look at my T8s, they got 209,000 kills. That's almost that's an over of 10-to-1 ratio. Okay. And the T10s, they did their work too. But that's because we got through his infantry. Because he didn't have no infantry left. He had that 12,000 there. What we didn't get the first time, we wiped out the second time because they had no defense and no time to work. Which is why they only got 82,291 kills. That's it. So with all of that being said, that is basically a troop formation, how they work, and the damage difference that they do by setting them up differently. Now, the best place to test formations is over here in the spire. Okay, go up to a higher floor, you know, and pick somebody that is higher power than you and that you more than likely will not beat, and test your formations out there. You're not looking to win. You're testing the difference in formations. Which one gives you the most damage? Okay. And once you find a good one that gives you a good amount of damage, save that one. You know, implement them in, save them, or write the numbers down however you decide to do it. Implement them in and save them. That way there, when you go in here or you're doing a battle on the field, you can very simply send that march. And you know that march, win or lose, is going to do a good amount of damage. Okay, and it may be that you start out with a formation and it only does 20,000. Well, then you find a better formation and it does 40,000. But that's the best one that you can come up with, is that does 40,000. But remember, you're going up against somebody that is you're losing to with stats, dragon, their troop formation. Don't take those losses as real defeats, because you're trying to set up the best formation to give you the best damage. So when that formation hits against an opponent that you're equal to or higher higher than, you're going to do extensive amount of damage. So like I said, you need to figure out what works best for your account. And the best place to play around is in the Spire up against a better opponent and figure out what does good damage. And that allows you to go through and find people that you can knock off tiles when you need to get into a crystal mine because your formation is set and you're not sitting here playing a guessing game. I haven't found a calculator out there. People say there is one. I don't see how it could be because you're not going to know your opponent's stats until you've at least hit them once. Well, stats change daily, so basically a PvP calculator isn't ever going to do you any good. The information I'm providing you is the best information I have from trial and error, from all the other YouTube videos I've watched where they're too scared to show you their stats, they're too scared to show you their true formations, they're too scared to show you anything where you can actually use your mind other than what they're telling you. Okay? The difference between them and me, I ain't scared to show you numbers because I ain't got nothing to hide. Because if I meet you on the battlefield and you decide to battle with me, we're going to battle. If I figure you're too strong and I can't defeat you, doesn't mean I ain't going to let you hit me. Because I'll let you hit me. But you never know what's going to happen in the end. Because you don't know what you're going to walk into. Because today's stats on July 4th have already changed 3 times since the reports that you've seen, which were last week's, or last UACs, which was 4 or 5 days ago. So remember that. Stats change daily because people are spending money because they finally got their gemstone essence out of the gemstone trials that they're running now. Like I said, don't take anybody's stats to word on here because they're always changing. So with that being said, everybody have a safe 4th. Enjoy your day. And if any questions, drop them in the comments. If you guys like what I provided, hit the like button, subscribe. Have a great day and take care. Bye.